General Prelogger, the petitioners here say, well, you have system on your side. It's true, system is a big word. But we have on our side standards of performance for any existing source. So why doesn't that tilt in their favor?
So we certainly agree that a standard of performance for an existing source means that each individual source has to be held accountable for operating its plant in conformance with that standard. But where I think their interpretation breaks down is there is nothing in that language that says that each plant has to take identical action or the emissions reductions have to be achieved from each plant in an identical way. And if I could just use an example of a trading scheme, which is commonplace in this sector, you can imagine a best system that involves a technological solution like carbon capture and sequestration paired with trading. And a plant can decide, well, it's cost effective to put in the carbon capture and storage, we'll do that, and in fact, we'll reduce our emissions even below the limit and generate a credit. Another plant that's differently situated and would incur far greater expense to put in the technology is going to be better off in the trading system to buy the credit. And the system is operating as intended. It is reducing emissions across the source category as a whole. It's just doing so in a very cost-effective way, which I think explains why the power plants, by and large, are on our side in this case. They want that kind of flexibility because this is business as usual for them. There's no apparent reason from that language, standard of performance, for an existing source to think that Congress instead said, no, rigidly, all of the plants have to put in the carbon capture and storage, even if that's going to be no greater emission reduction and come at far greater cost to them. So we just think that the terminology can't bear the weight that they would place on it. And if I could make one final point on all of this, that of course is language that governs what the states can do. And all of the normal presumptions here, the federalism canon, major questions, I think provides no basis to adopt their interpretation, which would narrowly constrain what states and sources can do for compliance.
Justice Gorsuch.